Hello, friends.
Hello. Today we're talking about
Bartering. How did this topic come up in our life recently?
Recently, Mia asked us for some yeast. And
as you know, yeast has been very hard to come by.
Yeah, but we have some. So we said, okay, Mia, we can give you some yeast. And Mia said, I want to trade you something for it because Mia's so moral and good. Mia is trading her knowledge as a scientist for some yeast and arugula pesto and arugula.
And she gave us vegan cheese.
And she gave us some vegan cheese.
Anyway, this might sound like a normal thing. You and your friends have something and trade each other or give each other things at different times. But it got us to thinking about bartering as a means of obtaining goods and services.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's think about it for a while and then talk about it on our channel.
I think we both think, and I don't know, some people I've talked to think that bartering and trading things is a very good system in theory, but we don't practice it, and we want to practice it more.
What do we mean by bartering?
Mm-hmm.
Last winter, my family friend has a farm, and she had a lot of trees that had blown over in a storm, and my dad is a forester. And he was like, oh, you have a tractor? I know how to help you get those trees out of your forest so we can cut them up for firewood. So he spent like a couple weekends helping her do that, and then when they chopped up the wood, they both split the firewood. And then also mom and dad like to make jam, so they always give her jam, and she has pear trees, so she gives them pears in exchange. And I was there visiting, and I was like, wow, what good bartering. We did some manual labor for our friend, and then she gave us boxes and boxes worth of pears. Like, you can't buy that many pears at the store. That's ridiculous. You can only get that many pears by like having a personal relationship with someone who makes them.
Very true. I really like this story.
It's good. Also, it was so fun because I learned how to pull logs with a tractor.
With your dad. Very good.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to wear all my dad's clothes. And
Yeah.
I sent a picture to Adrian. He was like, you look like you're cosplaying a forester. And also what we're talking about bartering is just ways of getting goods and services without getting money involved.
Yeah,
like whether you're trading or like getting something for free from something. Like the fact that you can get goods without paying for them.
Yeah.
Like without money being involved in the transaction.
I think that's just like a very cool concept. I think that like we want to have all these like radical like we like as just young people in a society want to have all these radical beliefs, but we're so like, it sounds so stupid to say, but we're honestly just so confined by like these things that we're obsessed about, and we don't have to be like that. Nook is the old restaurant I used to work at. There's lots of offcuts, so we would, like for example, if they had broccoli, they would only want the florets, so I just get to take home like a bag of broccoli stems.
Yummy.
I just like there's nothing wrong with eating the stem of broccoli, just obviously the florets are better, but it's still like food that needs to be eaten. There was always like cases and cases of lemons, and sometimes there was too many, so we'd take them.
Oh, like leftover salad at the end of the night, like you can't save it for tomorrow. Pre-COVID,
they let us like clean out the walk-ins because they were gonna throw all the food away, so I think that's really cool that restaurants are doing that. Like Pizza Joe that sat out and we would throw it away, or you could take it home. Like, I think that is very good. I think all restaurants should do that, but I know not a lot of restaurants do. Restaurants, so wasteful.
And I feel like when restaurants don't do that, that's because they're so obsessed with like the financial value of the food. Like, we paid this much for it, we can't let you have it for free.
Yeah.
But if you step back from being obsessed with monetary value, you can be like, this is some food that is worth nutrients to a person, but nothing to a restaurant at this point.
And there's definitely been occasions, like, working in restaurants where, like, for the principle behind it, like, restaurant managers or whatever will just throw out food instead of letting staff eat it, which is, like, honestly just absurd that, like, we live in a country that, like, to prove a point to you that you have to pay for your staff meals, I'm just gonna throw away this mistake food, like, very bad.
Oh, I had another example, maybe not quite bartering, but, like, relationships. My parents own vehicles, as many people do, and vehicles need maintenance all the time, or so I have heard. One of their neighbors is a mechanic, so they're just like friendly with him as you are with your neighbors, and he will like look at their car for free or do like specific services for like a very cheap price and stuff. And also they'll, you know, give them food from their garden and stuff. But that, like, having a personal relationship with the people who can do the things you need, instead of, like, going to the mechanic and being like, I don't know, someone do this, I don't care.
Yeah, and that's also, like, a way that, I think it's what we were talking about before, is, like, being self-sufficient is, like, even if you don't know how to do something, you should know, like, what needs to be done and, like, how much it should cost, because if you end up having to go somewhere, like, it's really easy to get overcharged if you don't.
Yeah, especially mechanics is the kind of thing, like, they charge so much money for a short period of time, but if someone likes you, they obviously would not charge you that much money.
Another example of when we got goods that we did not pay for, Carla watched our landlord's bird like a couple times when they went away post-COVID, or pre-COVID. They have not traveled recently. They're good people. And they gave us, like, 3 coupons for HelloFresh boxes, which was really nice.
And also with the HelloFresh coupon, it was like the kind of coupon you can't use because you've already used it, so, like, you could just throw it away, but you were like, oh, this has value for somebody else, even if it doesn't have value for me.
Yeah.
And, like, not, like, taking the time to make sure it gets to someone who can use it. So those are all examples of ways that you can kind of trade services and goods with people who are, like, not, like, your best friends. Like, obviously most people are always trading with their friends, but, like, people kind of in your circle.
Yeah, like, I think it's a cool concept with your friends, and it feels nice, and I think it would be nice to, like, have that same relationship with acquaintances.
So after we were talking about those, like, stories, we were like, how can we...
Oh, I just touched my face.
We were thinking, like, how can we start doing that more in our lives? Like, the story with the forestry and the pears is, like, very cute and good, but it was, like, a very specific situation, and also it wasn't me, it was my parents. But, like, we're thinking about how to, create more situations where we can trade what we can do for something that other people can do. Hannah made a bunch of pickles the other day, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, you can just make pickles. Like, and other people can fix cars.
But do you want to
make a pickle?
I think we've just been thinking about, like, what do we have to offer to other people that, like, they might deem valuable. Like, maybe somebody's too busy to cook, so I could be like, okay, like, I can do, like, a meal plan for you for this week, and please teach me how to do math, because I'm so bad at math. Something I think I can offer to somebody is, like, maybe, like, helping them cook for the week, or, like, cooking, like, a romantic dinner for them and their partner, and what I need is tutoring so bad. Do you want to talk about what you have to offer and what you need?
I guess obviously one of my things is sewing. Sometimes my friends are like, oh, can you sew this for me? Can you fix this for me? And that's the kind of thing you could, like, kind of get out into your community a bit more. Like, hey guys, I sew. If you need some sewing done,
just
I
like alteration.
Extra art supplies or something. I'm trying to think about what I need.
You need people to drive you places sometimes because you don't have a car.
Yeah, obviously Adrian drives me a lot, but if I was getting someone else to drive me, I would definitely feel the need to, like, offer them more in exchange.
Recently I was talking to somebody, and we were just talking about how, like, sometimes, like, doing what you do for work for your friends seems weird, because it's like,
usually I get paid $60 to do this.
Like, we kind of had, like, different thoughts on it, and we kind of, like, were talking about it, and he was just saying, like, oh, like, it feels like you're kind of, like, not I don't want to use the word capitalizing, but, like, it's just, like, something you're used to doing, like, in a professional setting. Just doing it casually seems, like, a bit weird, but I think that that's very good and cool. Like, it's, like, your friends get to have this thing done for them, like, by a professional or whatever, and, like, they have things that they're, like, a professional at, too, so it's just interesting to trade those things, and, like, it definitely, I think, should be just outside of your immediate friend group, because especially, like, if you're, I don't know, if you're in university, or, like, if you just know lots of different people at your work with different backgrounds, like, there's so many things that your coworker is probably, like, secretly really good at this, but you never talk about it, and maybe you want to learn how to do that, and they can teach you.
Or they have connections, like, when Kiana was in theater school, like, she could get you cheap tickets to plays or something. It's cool to acknowledge your skills and the value you have without having to put a financial like amount on it.
Mm.
Sometimes your work, even if it's like a dumb job, and you're like, my time is worth $10 an hour, blah blah blah. But then, like if I made this shirt, it took me several hours. If I were to sell it and I sold it for like $30, I'd be like, oh darn, my time is worth less when I'm doing things I care about. But like if I traded it with Hannah for some cool jewelry, I'd be like, oh nice, we both worked really hard on these things. And we don't have to like think about
like the money aspect.
The like how much is your time worth. Hannah just made, she like hand painted this sweater for her friend. It took like hours and hours. And then she mailed it to him, and we were like, what if it got lost in the mail? And she's like, that's so many hours of hand painting, it's worth, what's it worth? And it's like,
I guess it's
like
not.
You know what it's worth, and he knows what it's worth. But if it got lost in the mail, like how much money would you be losing out on or whatever? It's kind of a weird thing to do sometimes.
Yeah, like it's definitely more about like the effort behind it is lost, not like, oh my god, I lost so much money because my time is worth this much money.
So yeah, that's what we've been thinking about lately.
I have polled some friends.
Yeah, you
in general,
just texted a couple people about this and
Yeah.
said like
what
do you
thoughts?
think on a trade and barter system?
Like no context, and
Yeah.
we were just like, yeah, like it was a thing that existed in our economy at one point, and like, oh, it's like mostly the same thing. Like people use it within their circle of friends. It's like super interesting that like everybody does it within their circle of friends, but like it would be very exciting to make it bigger. I think we could all really benefit from it. It would be so much fun and not have to talk about money all the time.
I guess especially right now, so many people have less money than usual and more time. Like everyone's making bread and stuff. People have so many things that are like worth something to them and also to other people.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
If you just like think about this for a while and think about a area of your life where trading would make it better, let us know.
Yeah, I didn't talk about how Marco sent me a sweater back. I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, it was just me.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Let us know if you want to trade us anything.
Yeah. Ooh, or even like toys. I'm always like, I have some toys in my collection that I'm like, they're okay, but I would trade them for different toys, but I wouldn't sell them. Like I like them too much to sell them for money, but I would trade them for other things. I can't put a financial value on it, because then I'm like, no, I like this more than that money value, but I don't like it more than that other toy.
That's something to think about.